to another edition of Weekly News. Once again, I'm your host, Courtney Clemens. Thanks for joining us. We got a pretty packed show today, so let's get right into it. Well, in Trump news, the Manhattan DA finally received Trump's tax records, and it's being reported that Trump faces the IRS audit for years of non-payment. Also an audit of a $72.9 million refund he received 10 years ago. I think I'm doing my taxes all wrong. Hey Trump, give your boy a call. I don't think I've ever received $72 million back. Whew, geez. All right. Well, Trump is still trying to contest this, stating that I'm being lynched. This is a witch hunt. No one in their right mind is going to believe those records. They're fake records, just like it's fake news. And we never saw Obama's birth certificate. Why do you have to see my tax records? Well, Trump, good luck with this fight, big guy. But it looks like they're going to keep you out of this 2024 race no matter how they have to. We'll see how this one develops. In more news, Lady Gaga's friend and dog walker was shot, and her two French Bulldogs were dog-napped at the scene. Now, these dogs have since been recovered. A lady brought them into a police station, stating that she found them in an undisclosed location. Police have yet to release the location where they have been found due to an ongoing investigation. It's currently being reported that this lady had nothing to do with the dog napping. It seems kind of odd though. Lady Gaga released a $500,000 reward to return her French Bulldogs, and then this lady miraculously finds them. Had nothing to do with it. And these criminals went to this whole thing of shooting a dog walker and taking these dogs and get nothing out of it. I'm not a genius, but lady, you're gonna be in trouble soon. Moving on in more celebrity news. Snoop Dogg apparently rages out on Twitch, goes off, and then leaves his live stream on for 7 hours.
Look at this. This came in this room and everything went bad. This man.
Hey, those 12-year-olds on those video games can really piss you off. This is why I gave up gaming, because I'm ready to just go to these kids' houses, knock on their door, and kick them in the stomach, and then run away so no one catches me. But, Snoop, hey, you got to get thicker skin being on the internet, buddy. Bow wow wow yippee-yo yippee-yay, right? Huh? Snoop's a gangster and lost it on Twitch. Dude. Moving right along. In more celebrity news dealing with another famous rapper, T.I. and his wife Tiny have been accused of assaulting multiple women. Now, the reports are that they've drugged and sexually assaulted women, even some disturbing as far as T.I. tried to put his foot up a woman's vagina right before she passed out from the pills that his wife Tiny gave her. The prosecutor is now requesting a full investigation on T.I. and Tiny into these sexual assault allegations, as they've been accused of kidnapping, sexual assault, drugging, and also terroristic threats towards several women. 11 of these reports have been confirmed. These women have no connection, and these stories had never before been leaked online. For these stories to have such an eerie connection is beyond me. Well, T.I., Tiny, I hope these rumors aren't true. I hope you're not drugging women, especially the 17-year-old girl who stated that she received pills and alcohol from Tiny as she was in their employ, and then she woke up with her vagina bleeding and her anus hurting. Seems like the MO is Tiny gives the pills and alcohol, then T.I. comes in and sticks his foot in. So, if you're ever hanging out with T.I. and Tiny, don't take that drink and definitely don't take that pill. Rapper T.I. and his wife Tiny released this statement.
First of all, we must internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection.
T.I. also stated that he wouldn't pontificate any further on these egregious, unsubstantiated, baseless claims on him and his wife. It has been noted that T.I. will not appear in Disney Marvel's Ant-Man 3. This is the culture, buddy. You can ruin your whole career over allegations. Now, I hope they aren't true, but if they are, shame on you, T.I. and Tiny. In more cancel culture, Dr. Seuss books are under fire. 6 of Dr. Seuss books will no longer be printed in production due to what people say are insensitive and racist images. Now, this comes at a time when everybody's so hypersensitive over everything. But Dr. Seuss? Really? The Cat in the Hat? Meow meow? Like green eggs and ham? To think I saw Mulberry is actually on this list of canceled books. I can't believe it. And the Cat's Quizzers. Come on, dude. Dr. Seuss? Really? This is a direct result of this culture of everyone gets a trophy. Oh, be sensitive. Toughen the fuck up. Leave Dr. Seuss alone. Meanwhile, in less sensitive news, the LAPD celebrated Valentine's Day by passing around a picture of George Floyd with the caption, "You take my breath away." Now, if you want to cancel some shit, cancel that, not Dr. Seuss. What the hell is wrong with you? And then you wonder why black people don't trust the police. It's because they take our fucking breath away. Moving right along. Jeff Bezos has dumped another $3 billion worth of Amazon stock. Now, this seemingly has no effect on Amazon's stock price at the moment, but Bezos does have plans to step down as the company's CEO. Prior to the COVID situation occurring in 2019, Bezos had dumped reportedly $3.4 billion of stock at that time. He's now down to only a 12% ownership in Amazon. This is priming him for stepping down as Amazon's CEO. So, that's why there's no real panic to him dumping his stock. With him dumping his stock, he's actually became once again the world's richest man. Elon Musk slipping back down to number 2 after losing about $7 billion when the market slipped for Tesla stock. I wouldn't put much hold on that because Tesla stock will rise again, and it's just 2 billionaires battling it out for who's the richest. Now let's take our coronavirus update break. With COVID numbers down and a lot of things seeming to go back to normal, vaccines are being passed out pretty well so far. No zombies have occurred yet. I still don't trust it. But our kids are coming back to school in a staggered effect. Sports are resuming. I have boys that are happy about this football. Well, restaurants are back open, even indoors now, with limited capacity. Some states have decided to remove the mask mandate. Now, Joe Biden has came out and slammed these states who decided to remove the mask mandate like, how dare you? We still need safety. Even though the numbers are down, most scientists believe that we're just in the eye of the storm and it will spike again soon. So, try to stay safe even though it looks normal. Wash your hands, keep a little bit of distance. In places where you have to wear a mask, please wear a mask. Now, with this, Target decides that its employees, even in states that mask mandates have been lifted, will still have to wear masks at work, and any consumers coming into Target will still have to wear masks to be served. So, good luck, Target and Texas, because it looks like you're under fire now. And that should do it for our COVID update. No big news is good news. Speaking of Biden slamming things, Biden made a slam dunk on reopening the Children's Migrant Detention Center there in Texas. If you recall, Trump had this Children's Migrant Center open for 30 days and went under fire for children being placed in cages, and everyone was outraged. Joe Biden seemingly has gotten around that issue. No one's upset because he renamed it from a migrant detention center for children to a children's border shelter. Hey, it's just a temporary shelter for these children who've come across the border with no adults before we send them back to Mexico to be either organ trafficked or sex trafficked. Meanwhile, they're still children in cages. I guess it's all in how you brand it. So Trump, take notes. You should have called it a border shelter and not a migrant detention center for children. Moving on in more news in this country. Nightline recently did a piece on the violence against Asian Americans in this country on the rise. Now, during this, it was very informative, and all of us need to be aware of the rise in violence against our Asian American friends and family and try to put a stop to it. But what I did not agree with was the fact that Nightline attempted to pit blacks against Asians. Nightline stated that it was the black community that increased these attacks on Asian Americans. We all know how powerful the news can be and imagery can be. Nightline took 3 cases out of 2,800 cases. 3 cases were confirmed to be young African Americans who attacked older Asians. Now, these teens in these 3 cases were all said to have mental disabilities. But that's 3 cases out of 2,800 for you to blame the entire black community and to try to spark fear with our Asian friends and family that we're going to attack them in some way. It's reckless. It is improper. Now, when you look at the statistics and the numbers, most of the hate crimes committed against Asians in this time span have been by white Americans, not actually black Americans. So for Nightline to come on and say something as completely false and reckless and untrue as the black community is responsible for the spike in violence against Asian Americans is just heartbreaking. Now, during this rise, there have been a reported number of 2,800 plus hate crimes against Asian Americans. During that same period, there's been over 8,500 hate crimes against black people in this country. The simple matter is Asians are under fire, but black people have always been under fire disproportionately. When you take the number of 2,800, that needs to stop. But in that same time period, when you take 8,500 hate crimes against black Americans, where's the outcry? This is not including hate crimes by the police, because those are classified as police violence or justified homicides. I want everyone to be very cautious and careful of how they paint these pictures. The black community has no ill will against our Asian American brothers and sisters. It is not the black community that's out cursing and attacking these people in mass numbers. And although Nightline was able to pull footage of 3 black youths attacking 3 different Asian Americans, there's still 2,800 more cases that they didn't show you. It's always a disproportionate number. It's always an angle to a story. How about we all band together and just stop the hate crimes completely? How about no one attacks Asian Americans for just being Asian Americans? Now, if they're a dickhead, you punch them in the fucking face. But just because my elderly grandmother is walking down the street, she does not get attacked. How about no one attacks black people just because they're black? If they're an asshole, once again, punch them in the fucking face. But not just because they're black and they're walking. This goes for my Latin brothers and sisters. This goes for my Middle Eastern brothers and sisters, my Pan-Pacific Asians. Across the board, white, black, Indian, Asian, I don't care what you hail as. No one should ever be attacked just for simply being. And please do not be as reckless as our former president and call out other groups, because what that does is increase violence. What you'll see is violence that turns towards the black community from the Asian community, and then more violence from the black community. This is how wars begin. This is how turmoil happens. Do not allow the media to play you guys. In more news, scientists in the US have finally begun cloning endangered species. A Blackfoot ferret, which is highly endangered here in America, has been cloned from an animal that died over 30 years ago. Now, as cool as this raises a lot of questions in the new cloning process. If you guys remember, the sheep that was cloned some years back, everyone forgot about her, but they've been cloning for over 20 years. This sheep lived a long, happy life and eventually died of just old age. Had nothing to do with the cloning process. So, when do they start cloning people? Are they already cloning people? There's been reports that people have been replaced. No, I'm no conspiracy theorist. But, do you want zombies? Because I think this is definitely how you get zombies. A clone taking an unprecedented vaccine? We'll have to really keep our eye on this cloning thing. But I love the science behind it and think it's really awesome. I'm second guessing giving up my DNA for anything. We don't want any more clones of me running around, do we? That's going to wrap us up for this weekly news edition. Once again, thank you for being with me. I'm your host, Courtney Clemens. If you like what you heard, click the like button, click the subscribe. Oh, and also, don't forget, my brother still has that tea company, mymentalities.com. Mentalities. You can use this code and get a discount. Just tell them Courtney sent you from the weekly news. Well, everyone, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you again next time.